Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad to be back. If you're coming back, welcome. And if you're here for the first time, kindly remember to subscribe. Join me on this road to 100 subscribers. Help me get to 100 subscribers and I'll be very grateful. Now, today we said we'll be talking about PEP and PrEP. Post-exposure prophylaxis and pre-exposure prophylaxis. So, we'll just dive right into class, and I want to start with the pre-exposure prophylaxis, the PrEP. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP. PrEP sound like preparation. So ndio inatumika before. So on the PrEP, who uses PrEP? Or let me first start by explaining what are these drugs that are we talking about. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, it's pre-exposure prophylaxis to HIV and AIDS, and post-exposure prophylaxis from HIV and AIDS. So who uses PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis? Pre-exposure prophylaxis is used for people who we call discordant or surrogate couples. Yes. So these are couples where the husband is HIV positive and the wife is HIV negative. Or the other way, the wife is HIV positive and the husband is HIV negative. So these people tend to use what we are calling pre-exposure prophylaxis, and these are tablets. Since I'm a very good teacher, I like to use demonstrations. So this is what we call pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's just one tablet that has two drugs in it combined, which we are calling tenofovir and lamivudine. In medicine, it's usually abbreviated as TDF plus 3CT. These are for my fellow medical professionals. Yes. So, how is this medicine used? You use it 2 to 24 hours before the sexual act. And this is in place or in case where this surrogate couple or discordant couple want to conceive, where unprotected sex is involved, they will have to use 3CT plus TDF, this tablet here. I mean, you can see it. So for this pre-exposure prophylaxis, I do not have the actual drugs and tablets in it. I just got the outer package, but at least you've known who uses it and how it is used. So yes, there are people living with HIV, the husband or the wife is positive and the other one is negative, and that is when we use the pre-exposure prophylaxis. Yes. Now the other one is what we are calling the post-exposure prophylaxis. Hey guys, if you've not watched my previous video where we got to talk about an 18-year-old who was just in high school and got infected with HIV and AIDS and only learned about it in a second trimester of pregnancy, the video is down below. Kindly go and watch that video where all this story on HIV teaching stemmed from. So this is what we are calling post-exposure prophylaxis. So who uses or who is eligible for the post-exposure prophylaxis? So number one, we have anyone who has been raped. So it can be used in case of rape. Number two, we have us, medical professionals, where we come into contact with individuals who are HIV positive, and in the process, say maybe in the process of delivery where we were helping a mother give birth, we prick ourselves or the birth contents, we come into contact with the birth content, maybe in our eyes, noses, or mucous membranes. Also, if we are dealing with HIV positive people and probably prick ourselves with the needles that we were using to probably give medicine to them with, or injections and all that. So these accidents happen, and I want you, if you ever get a partner who is a medic and they tell you they are on PEP, kindly understand them. Probably an accident happened somewhere and they came into contact with the HIV, with the content of the HIV individual. But then there are many body fluids that can transmit this. So one, we have what we call the cerebrospinal fluid. We have breast milk. Imagine we have the pleural fluid. This is the fluid that surrounds or comes from the lungs. We have the pericardial fluid, which surrounds or comes from the heart. And to mention but just a few. So all of that, and even all the fluids that also come from the genital area, these are things that can easily transmit HIV and AIDS, especially to you who is intending to become a medic, or you are already a medic, or you will get a partner or a partner of a medic. These are accidents that happen, and one day they can tell you they are on PEP. So our dear medics, if you ever prick yourself, or especially prick yourself with anything that has come into contact with a person who is HIV positive, one, you should never, or what you should do to the site, allow it to bleed freely. Do not rub or scrub to wash it off, because what you're doing when you're scrubbing, you're increasing the site that can be infected. So do not squeeze or press. Let the site bleed freely and wash with running water. So this PEP, I'm going to show you what the drug looks like, and it's usually a combination of 3 drugs. I can just zoom in for you. It's called dolutegravir, lamivudine, and tenofovir. So DTG plus 3TC plus TDF. Yes. So that's it. So it's just 1 tablet, guys. I'm going to show you the drug. So we're going to open it, and it's quite hard. Okay. So I want you to see what our dear girl would have used had she known, or even what you should know for educational purposes. So our drugs are white in color, what we are calling the post-exposure prophylaxis, or PEP. I don't know if you are able to see. Yes, I will zoom in for you while doing the editing, but as you can see, they are white in color. Yes. So one thing you should know about these drugs is that, by the way, when you go into hospital, you find some or most of the medics find themselves in these situations and end up being put on PEP. So you need to take PEP for 28 days every day at the same time. So this calls for great consistency every day at the same time, and it's 1 tablet a day every day at the same time. So PEP usually comes with side effects. We call jaundice, where the eyes become yellow. We have nausea, you feel like you want to vomit. But because you love yourself and you'd rather be HIV free other than be lazy and allow HIV to set in, you'd rather take the PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis. So this is how it works. If you ever pricked yourself or came into contact with body fluids of a HIV positive person by any chance whatsoever, you normally, or what I was explaining about, what happens is HIV does not set in immediately, but this is what we normally call the window period, the period before HIV, the virus replicates in your body. So you take these drugs for a whole month, then come for retesting after a month. Are we together? So what happens is, 1, before you are started on this PEP, there's a criteria. You get tested for HIV first, and then if it turns out negative, you continue with these drugs. But if it turns out positive, then we put you on antiretrovirals immediately. And it's also important to remember that PEP and PrEP do not prevent STIs, or what we call sexually transmitted infections. Yes. So that's it for our class today, guys. I want to believe that you've learned something. So a quick review on what we've learned today. We've learned about PrEP. This is mostly for discordant couples. We've said you should use it 2 to 24 hours before the act, and most especially if you want to conceive. Criteria is 1, if you're HIV negative and your weight is above 30 kgs. Mostly in case of assault or what you're calling rape, medical accidents, can use the post-exposure prophylaxis, taken for 28 days, every day, same time. Then come back for your first review at 2 weeks, then come back again for your second review at 14 weeks, then at 28 weeks, and we do a HIV retest. Yes. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and also give a comment. Also let your medic personnel, that person in your life is a medic, know about this. So see you in my next video. Ciao. Love you. Bye.